Feliz Navidad! Today is Christmas Eve, and Santa is preparing for his annual night of trespassing, breaking and entering, and reverse thievery. But as you stay up all night waiting for Santa to visit, don't forget about Krampus. I'm Devin Cuffee. It's December the 24th, 2016, and this is Kingdom of Freedom. Hit it! Juice down. Free your soul. Juice down. Juice down. One jingle bell on wholesale. It's time to seize the day. Living well without a spell, this year will turn to clay. Looking for the blue light sale, put your credit card away. After holiday, retail and express mail, don't forget Judgment Day. That's from a poem I wrote called Holiday Detox. We've almost arrived at the end of our annual ceremony in worship of the holly jolly Saint Crispy Kringle, also known as Jabba the Hutt's cousin. But while we were enjoying all the festivities, did you forget about Krampus? Well, if you did, then today is your day to give him some well overdue attention. And you can join our conversation on Twitter using the hashtag CuffeeFreedom. Again, that's hashtag CuffeeFreedom. There is a big misconception about Christmas that we need to clarify. I'm not referring to the fact that Christmas literally means a religious mass for Christ, ergo vis-a-vis the word Christmas. And I'm not talking about the history of how many of his traditions come from Norse, aka Vikings, spiritual rituals. And I'm not referring to how in modern times Christmas has more to do with creating an annual boom in economic activity than it has to do with holiday cheer. Nope. Nada negativo. Rather, the big misconception about Christmas that needs to be set straight is that Santa is not the main character. He has a co-star. His co-star in this annual live-action stage play is the one and only Krampus. Yes, Krampus is just as much a part of Christmas as jolly old Saint Nikolaos, the Bishop of Myra. So who is Krampus, and why are we neglecting him every year like a piece of moldy bread or spoiled milk? You see, Krampus doesn't fit into the rose-colored narrative of happy elves, red-nosed reindeer, and Christmas cheer. Krampus isn't an adorable little helper working in Santa's sweatshop for only 50 cents a day. There aren't any fun stories or happy songs about Krampus, unlike his comrades Frosty the Snowman or Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Why? Because Krampus doesn't come bearing gifts. He comes with the instruments of pain to bring corporal punishment. He's the Judge Dredd of Christmas, the Punisher of Xmas, the nurse that refused to give an epidural on the first Noel. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that's Krampus. If you knew that Santa Claus was coming to town and Krampus was coming with him, it might not be such a season to be jolly. But we must no longer neglect Krampus, but embrace what he represents. You see, Krampus represents accountability. Like the T-101 or T-1000 in Terminator 2, Krampus represents Judgment Day to bring you to account for what you have done all year. Our quest for freedom is not a search for unchecked hedonistic pursuits, but rather to be free is to live a life of happiness and peace and harmony. We have all made mistakes over the last year, and we all have done things that we are ashamed of. So what better time to reflect on how we can improve our spiritual and social lives than the last month of the year? So let's stop racially profiling and discriminating against Krampus. Let's stop the NYPD and LAPD from pulling the sleigh over every year because Krampus happens to fit the description of his distant cousin Pan. Krampus isn't the enemy. He's on a positive mission of tough love. Santa may bring gifts for all the good you've done over the year, but for every time you missed the mark and demonstrated that you have areas in life that need improvement, Krampus comes to reawaken your conscience. So don't forget about Krampus this year. Remember him by taking time out to examine your life and challenge the man or woman in the mirror to do better next year. I assure you, it hurts him more than it hurts you. Merry Krampus. Join us next time when we'll be talking about Xmas and X-Men. Don't reject your gifts like a spoiled kid on Christmas, but rather embrace your gifts and talents like the X-Men and use them to make the world a better place. That's our conversation next time. And be sure to visit devincuffee.com and join the Alliance. Hit it!